I hereby announce that this meeting is being held in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Open Meeting Act. Proper notice of meeting dates has been given to the Morris Newsbee, the Morris County Daily Record, and posted on the bulletin board in Borough Hall. Roll call, please. Notice to members of the Shade Tree Commission and the borough staff. Any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purpose of borough business. Roll call, please.
Okay. Mrs. Dougherty?
Present.
Mr. Druetzler?
Present.
Mr. Lombardi?
Present.
Mr. McAlear?
Here.
Mr. Steckert? Mrs.
He's not here, but I am.
She still calls me Mayor Druetzler, so don't worry about it.
Oh, I did, I called you mayor. Oh, God. Should I start again? All right, I'll say that Mr. Dubee is here, and at the moment, Mr. Councilman Cortese is not. Sorry about that.
The next order of business is the election of the officers for the 2026 year. I turn this meeting over to our secretary.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion for the chairman?
I move that Mr. Michael Lombardi be nominated for chairman for the year of 2026.
Okay, and can I have a second?
Second, Ms. Steckert.
There being no is there any more nominations for chairman? There being no further nominations, the nominations for chairman will be closed. Can I have a roll call? Okay, Mrs. Dougherty,
Yes.
Mr. Druetzler,
Yes.
Mr. Lombardi,
Abstain.
Mr. McAlear,
Yes.
and Mrs. Steckert.
Yes.
All right, now can I have nominations for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Marion Steckert for vice chair.
Okay, and, okay, is there any more? There being no further nominations?
I'll second it. You gotta second.
Okay, second it, thank you. Okay. I close this section. Roll call. Mrs. Dougherty,
Yes.
Mr. Druetzler,
Yes.
Mr. Lombardi,
Yes.
Mr. McAlear,
Yes.
and Mrs. Steckert.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Arbor Day. I believe there's 2 chairs for Arbor Day? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so can I have a motion to nominate the chairs?
Yes, I move a motion to continue with the same 2 chairs that we've had in the prior year, Mr. Frank Druetzler and Ms. Rodari.
And can I have a second?
Second.
Is there any other nominations? There being no further nominations, the nominations for Arbor Day chairs are closed. Roll call. Okay? How many pieces of paper? Okay, Mrs. Dougherty,
Yes.
you can vote for yourself. You can vote
I
for
should have
yourself.
thought about that. I
Okay.
can? All right.
Mr. Druetzler,
Yes.
okay. Mr. Lombardi,
Yes.
Mr. McAlear,
Yes.
and Mrs. Steckert.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Before I move on to the resolution of the minutes, meeting dates for 2026, I would just like to take the opportunity to thank Mr. McAlear for serving as the vice chair of this committee. I really appreciate your efforts, and so does the borough, so thank you very much. I have to read this whole thing.
If you want. Everybody has a copy, maybe they just want to
Yes.
read it,
Yes.
and then we can vote on it.
So there was a resolution, I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but just kind of to the point piece. This puts forward the meeting dates for the 2026 year that will include the meeting in January of 2027. Just some key takeaways from this. There is a change to Monday Just for the month of December, normally the Shade Tree meets the first Monday of each month, except July. In December, we will be meeting the first Tuesday of the month. Also, July and September, it will not be the first of the month due to the two holidays that intertwine with the first Monday of the month. We do not have a meeting in the month of August, and moving forward, all meetings will move from 5:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, voice vote. And I would like to congratulate everybody on their appointments.
Marion, should we switch seats, or do you want until next meeting? Okay, all right.
So the next topic is our minutes from the December 1st, 2025 meeting. There was just kind of some back and forth on these minutes. I know that, and there just was a small issue, just the fact that the audio equipment in the borough chambers was not working, so this was the best estimated minutes and recap of the meeting. Do I have a motion to move the minutes of the prior meeting?
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on December 1st, 2025 be approved and circulated.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Voice vote?
No, I can't, not unless there's some sort of asterisk that these are not accurately, they don't accurately reflect what happened in the meeting, because there's a whole section of the meeting that's left off at the end where we discuss things. So, other people can vote for them, but I can't. They're not accurate to the actual recording of the meeting. So,
All right, so then I'll do a roll call. Mrs. Dougherty?
Yes.
Mr. Druetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardi?
Yes.
Mr. McAlear?
no.
And Mrs. Steckert?
Yes.
I open the comments from the public section of our meeting.
Jason Karr, Mayor, Borough of Morris Plains. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everybody on their appointments. Mike is being chair again, and Marianne vice chair, and thank Rob for being vice chair last year, and to Bro and Frank for stepping up and doing Shade Tree or Arbor Day. I'm sorry. So as I've done since I've become mayor, is just come here and say thank you. You guys are all volunteers, and that's what really makes Morris Plains go around is the volunteers. People don't understand the time and the dedication that it takes to be on anything, whether it's a board or a commission or volunteering for baseball at a snack bar or whatever. But it's so very important and really part of our makeup here in Morris Plains. So I appreciate the work that you all do and getting out there looking at trees, making suggestions. Keeping it within budget. I think that was very good this year, and you guys worked hard to do that. And the plantings, I remember Pearl Law, a longtime member of the Shade Tree, told me, plant more trees. And we've been trying to plant trees. Unfortunately, we had some diseased trees that we had to take care of for a few years, and so it seems like we're back on our way to Pearl Law's wish, and my wish is to plant more trees here in town. So I really appreciate those efforts and putting, quite a bit of effort and time and money into planting trees wherever they are in town. Because trees are very important and make our town look absolutely beautiful. So Happy New Year to you all. Thank you again for volunteering and stepping up, and I wish you a year of good luck and happy planting. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Happy New Year.
Before we start the meeting, though, I just would like you to know that I gave you a sheet that gives you all of the members their telephone number and their website known. I just wanna make sure, just confirm that everybody's name is correct, I think I gave it to you also. And, if there's any problem, just let me know, okay? So I can change it and issue a new one. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Seeing as there's no additional comments from the public, I close this part of the meeting. Moving forward, the next line item is the budget. The budget that you see in front of you is what we've proposed. This is not the official budget for 2026. It's pretty much in line within a few $100s of what it was in 2025. This won't be finalized until the town does their budget process.
Mike, I had asked you to send a rationale around for this budget, and I also followed up with an email to you when I hadn't received it by December 20th, and I never heard back. Is there any way we could get a rationale for this before voting on it?
Sure. What's your questions regarding the
That's
budget?
good. Thank you.
I'd just like you to, last time I asked you if you could explain how you came up with the numbers
Sure.
for us.
So, I kept the budget pretty much in line to what it had been the prior years with some puts and takes. Main puts and takes was additional money into planting, more than 2x what we had always had in the past. Additional money into Arbor Day as we are planning to do something special with the 100-year anniversary of the town and for the school. Outside of that, just some movement through some of the lines, but pretty much same budget outside of those two line items.
So that's it, that's the rationale.
Correct.
Yeah.
I looked at it before, yeah, I mean, I wanted to have more of a discussion about it than that. When is this due?
So this isn't really our final budget, this is just what we've proposed to, when the councilman's here and when they do the budget discussions in the borough. As of right now, our budget to start the year is 25% of the prior year budget. So this is pretty much, like I said, pretty flat to prior year.
I just know that the council had some questions about our budget, and I think it makes sense to try and, go through it as a commission and have a rationale for each of the budget lines and why we need that amount of money and why we're putting that amount there based on, the work that we've done, what our expectations are for this year's work. I think that'd be good for us to be able to give to Sal when he goes to the budget hearing. And I think for me, just looking at the numbers on the page, like I said last time, I mean, it's not, it looks reasonable enough, but I think that, in order for us to present our best face at the council, we need to have more than just a line of numbers for them, given the scrutiny that we were under last year for our budget. Just my opinion. So if we don't have to have it this week, is there a way that we could get that from you and then we could have a discussion about it next meeting? I don't know when we have to have it in by.
March, without him being here to answer that specifically, that I'm not 100% sure on, but sure, that's fine.
I'd appreciate that,
But
thank you.
basically, it's gone to the treasurer, and the treasurer puts a book together. I mean, you can make a change, I guess.
I'm not even saying I want to change something, I want us to have, before we vote on it, I want us to have a rationale, so that when it goes in front of the council, we can explain why it is that we're requesting what we're requesting. We can say, we did this last year, we expect that to stay the same, it's X many trees we took down, that's the average for the last 5 years, whatever it is, whatever our rationale is.
Yeah, I'll provide documentation for that next month.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Seeing as there's no communications, moving forward to the forester's report.
Thanks, Mike. It's brief, I believe there's only 3 memos, there are a few carried over from December. 2594, the Presbyterian Church, Some limbs that were hanging and drooping. DPW did take care of this to the best of my knowledge.
93.
What about 93?
Oh, I'm sorry, I started with 94, I apologize. 2593, 29 Harrison Avenue. That is a dead tree, it's actually rotted and broke at the base, it's in the green acre space behind his property, so that should be removed. 12 to 24 inch, no stump on that. And then I had 2601, pruning of a few trees at Briarcliff Road and Wynwood Road. I would suggest to go ahead with pruning 3 trees. They're all 24 to 36 inch diameter.
So 24 to 36?
Yes. 3 trees at 24 to 36 inch diameter. I believe that's all the memos I have,
That's it.
unless I'm missing something.
Do I have a motion to move the forester's report?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call. Mrs. Dougherty,
Yes.
Mr. Druetzler,
Yes.
Mr. Lombardi,
Yes.
Mr. McAlear,
Yes.
Mrs. Steckert.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about 2 items that were on the worksheet previously.
Yes. Josh, for old business this evening?
Want to wait till whole business, is what you said?
You know, we're in old business now.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one was 87 Sylvan. Ro asked me about this before the meeting. This was the house that had the insulators on it. I don't know if anyone else here talked to JCP&L. I did not. I had asked Bill Houston to do it, and before he had a chance to do it, the wires were moved. So I don't know.
There's a new pole in, the electric wires are moved. Now it's up to, I guess, the cable company and Verizon to move the lower portion.
Yeah. Did you take care of that, Frank?
I didn't take care of it,
I
I
just
guess.
called and they actually came out. Someone waved their magic wand here
I
for
have
it
to
to
tell
happen.
you this, I thought, wow, that's a fast move.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I thought we were gonna be.
So I thought that was good, and when now I don't know whether this means anything, but I see that, it looks like the phone company is in town, whether we're gonna work there, I don't know. But I've seen them in town, so.
So should this be removed from the worksheet?
What's that?
Should 87 Sylvan be removed from the worksheet?
Yeah, I think you can move it, I mean, the other wires aren't gonna be sparking, that's.
Yeah, but I don't believe that
Okay,
the
so I can remove it.
keyboard phone should spark.
I spoke to the resident and she was grateful and said thanks for being persistent and taking care of it. So I think
Very nice.
she was pleased with the outcome. So unless something further happens there, I think we can close that.
Okay, are we gonna do the worksheet or no?
There's nothing to be done to the
Well,
worksheet.
okay.
Well, 130, that was gonna be deferred to January. Parkland that runs parallel to Court train,
Right.
the limbs, all of this was deferred to this month.
Correct. You still had something else on your second.
That's all right, we can do this. Well, I can ask if you want. So my question's about 7 Juniper. I wanna know what happened there.
Okay.
Because my recollection is that they called about 2 town trees. Our arborist went out and said they were healthy. Frank, I think, called them specimen trees in the meeting. We all agreed we wouldn't remove them. And then last week I walked by and one of them was removed. So when I called Karen, she said it was approved to be removed by the resident. The resident paid for it.
Right.
So I wanted,
Resident paid for it.
so I wanna know who approved. We didn't vote on this. I wanna know how it was, what happened? How was this approved that the resident was allowed to remove a tree that our arborist had said was healthy?
Sure, I'll talk about this. So, the resident called in multiple times and sent multiple notes to myself and the mayor and to Sal as well, providing a lot of background regarding his. What is
That's right, nothing.
that? Oh, okay.
Music on?
Someone's phone?
It is, it's my phone, it's not very loud,
It's a little
but I'll
background,
just leave it.
little background music.
Background music.
All right.
Should we lower the lights?
He had had a lot of issues with getting his insurance re-upped because of shade coverage. Sent me multiple communications on this. Myself and the forester did go back out there and take a look. The main concern there was where the tree was located in front of his property, the issues that has had with his insurance company. The tree that was removed was really butchered by JCP&L. I gave him a one-time exception for the removal of this tree, seeing as he was gonna pay for it, and in return, he will be planting trees in its place.
So can I just wanna understand what happened. So did that happen after our last meeting?
Correct.
Okay, so there's a process in our town ordinance for when a resident wants to remove a tree. Okay? So maybe you weren't aware of it, but it's, I got the citation, it's 23B-8, removal of trees, permit applications. It says, no tree upon municipal land shall be removed until a permit has been obtained. Applications for permits shall be made in triplicate and submitted to the Shade Tree Commission. Each application shall state the name, address, and telephone number and give the location and reason for the removal. The Shade Tree Commission will then take such a request under advisement and notify the applicant. So there's a clear procedure in the code for how this should have been dealt with. I don't understand if it wasn't an emergency, why we didn't, I don't need it in triplicate, but we should have had, that explanation, the documentation, and it should have been brought to the meeting and voted on. And this isn't the first time that something like this has happened, so I just don't understand why we're not voting on removals if they're not emergencies.
To be honest with you, I did the homeowner a favor and to keep our residents happy in town. I understand that this is there. I wasn't aware of this permitting piece of that, but this won't happen again. But the resident, for me, making the resident happy was the determining factor here.
Well, Frank, I want to ask you about your opinion about it, because you said if we cut these trees down, you don't want to ever hear about canopy again. So where do you land on this? You call them specimen trees, I believe.
I did.
And I agreed with you.
Yes. There's nothing you're gonna do about it now, unfortunately. The tree's down and gone, and a mistake happened, and, yeah, we learned from it. That's about it. What else can you do?
Well, I think one of the things we need to do is we need to have some sort of bylaws on this commission that spell out the process for some of these things. And I think we should work with maybe the chair and the vice chair can work with the town attorney to come up with those bylaws so that we're aware of what the process is for any of these issues that come up. Because things are being done kind of fast and loose, and it doesn't look good. I understand that maybe there was no ill will there, but from my point of view, just because a resident complains doesn't mean we should cut the tree down. So I want to see documentation and have us make a decision. Because it's hard when the resident's there and they're pressuring you to say no. But that's our job. That's why we're here. Our job is to say no, to hold the line and say, the tree's healthy, our arborist says it's healthy, we understand you don't like the leaves on your lawn or whatever the problem is, but we're not gonna cut it down. It's a healthy tree. So we need to have some bylaws, and I think that I would like for the chair and the vice chair to talk to the town attorney about coming up with some bylaws that spell out what our procedures are.
Why do we
for
need
doing that.
bylaws if it's in the documentation already?
Because this is
Why
not
do we
the,
need another,
I
piece of
apologize
paper?
for speaking.
yeah, if it's already there, it's fine. I think what we can do is, right, this was a mistake. We'll make sure that, I'm committed to making sure I read through it and making sure that going forward, we have an understanding, and I'd ask all the commissioners to do the same. Just read the documentation again. It's been a while since we looked at it, but I don't know that we need another thing to restate what's already in there, so maybe.
Bylaws aren't restating, so the council has all sorts of ordinances, and they still have bylaws. The bylaws are to govern the way that we do things here. It's not a law about what trees are cut down. Bylaws govern the commission, the committee's behavior, our voting process, what things have to be put to a vote, what things don't have to be put to a vote, what things have to be on the agenda, what things don't have to be on the agenda, how far in advance we need to see materials, before we vote, things that have all been issues over the last year.
But before committing to that, I would, well, I'll take this next month to review what's in there already, and we can come back and put it on the agenda for next month. So we can come back with if we, let's take a look at it, see what's there, and if the next step is bylaws, whatever, let's talk about it. We all agree.
I appreciate you entertaining it, but I'd just like to clarify what's where. Take a look and see what's where.
We're gonna look at what you just read from, familiarize ourselves, see if Michael and I will get together, see if we think bylaws, it makes sense. Give us some time to take a look at it first, and then we can discuss it at next meeting.
Okay, so next meeting we'll have a discussion about bylaws.
Yes, we'll all discuss it and figure out if we think bylaws are necessary, or if there's another form of documentation, whatever it would be. I think it's a good discussion to have.
I think we need to have, because we need also, it needs to encompass more than just this particular issue, in my opinion. So, thanks. I look forward to the discussion.
This resident that we're talking about, did she not send pictures last year of the trees on her, right? It was last year we spoke about.
There was additional things that were not sent to everyone on the commission that were discussed between the homeowner and myself.
Okay.
I take this on myself then. Just going through whatever the other open items that are on the just the worksheet. Obviously, we always have the pearl law tree that's on here to be fertilized. That'll be done later in the spring.
Yeah, that's.
Obviously, we took 87 off, 57 styles. There's really nothing to defer till January. We need to go through the growth season of the tree to see if there's any damage that was done.
So spring?
I would say spring. The one regarding the parkland that runs parallel to Court Road and the train path, this is something that DPW is currently working through. When they have the opportunity, they're going through there and trimming when they can. And then as far as 130 Glenbrook Road, I know we had some discussion about this last time. Fell outside of the 10-foot mark. As far as I'm concerned, you could just remove this from the worksheet. Moving on to the new business portion of the meeting.
Are we in old business? Old business first?
Do you have anything else?
Oh, I didn't even think we were in old business. I thought that was still the worksheet we were working on. But anyway, yes, I do have something
That's
else.
all part of old business.
Okay. Yeah, my other item that I have that I wanted to discuss tonight is this Natural Climate Solutions Grant. So this was the grant that the commission voted to advance to the council last meeting. And I went to the council meeting to see what would happen, and this is the grant that is for $260,000, what the application was for. And to plant, I found out last meeting, 400 trees. The council tabled the grant because they said they did not have adequate details on costs from us. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about this because, I left the meeting and I was just confused. So I want to ask a little bit about what happened here, because the details of the grant was put together in September. The details of the grant were never discussed at any meeting. There was no input from the public for 400 tree locations as to how that $260,000 would be spent. I asked for the application materials on 3 separate occasions since September, and each time I was told I would get them, but I never did. So I want to ask, did anyone else on this commission see the application materials besides Chairman Lombardi? Or did they discuss the application?
And you looked at it online, it was available online, I looked at it online.
I'm talking about the materials that he had, the sheet that he handed me last time, with the planting locations and the amount of money that we're requesting and the details that he gave me on the sheet.
Did we see it in advance?
Did anyone else see it in advance?
I saw that in the summer support of the governing body. So, I mean, this will take a great effort over 3 years by the commission here. And if people aren't gonna support it, as far as I'm concerned, you can just forget it. I mean, if there's no support in the governing body and you don't really support it, why are we having for 3 years, trying to get this money, which we'll talk about, which would lower our budget because we wouldn't have to buy trees in our budget. We'll use that by getting basically 400 trees is a lot of trees, but it's doable because it's been done before. And you could, get the community involved. You could get the school system, perhaps Robert's Garden, and some other organizations, and do a wonderful thing for the town. But it's going to take an effort, and there's no support for the governing body. I come to the conclusion, this is the second time I went before the governing body. Just, let's forget it.
So the push to get it in front of the governing body was, this is a rolling grant, and we wanted to try to get something in as an application for funding right now. That was the push for this.
So, Frank, I don't disagree with anything you said, and I'd like to go on record to say that I'm not against the grant. I said that last time. I disagree with I disagree with the part that you said at the council. It's not what I heard at the council. What I heard is that we did not, first of all, the grant writer was there instead of someone from this commission to talk about the grant. And we did not have the details that they needed in order to make a decision because there's costs associated with this grant. And there was a feeling that maybe, and this is something that Chairman Lombardi said himself last meeting, that there's a low chance that we get it, and that we should know what the costs are before we apply for it and weigh the costs and the benefit. But my question really is, Frank, you saw the application beforehand. Did anybody else see it? Because I'm trying to understand why it is that people on this commission are okay with voting for something that they haven't seen. So either you're okay with voting for something that you haven't seen, or you already saw it and I'm the only one who didn't. So which one is it? Did you see it, Marianne, beforehand? No.
I just told you, I looked at the grant online,
So
and I knew enough about it to know that our grant writer, in conjunction, knows what he's doing and fills out a grant appropriately for submission to the council. My impression at the council meeting was there was no support, and the council drew conclusions about expenses that were part of the grant that were not part of the grant, were not included in the grant because it wasn't anything that was gonna be in there. So I agree with Frank's assessment that it didn't appear that there was support for it at the council. We've got, if there's a low propensity for us to get this grant, and we have a grant subcommittee, right? I would rather us spend our time on grants that we have a higher propensity to get than spend a significant amount of time on a grant like this that we know it's slim to none, right? We know urban areas are going to get grants. Who knows how much money is given out on this grant already? And as Michael said, Chairman Lombardi said, it's a rolling grant. We don't even know how much money is left in the grant by the time we, submit it anyway. So that's just my
I don't understand
Wait, let's understand. This came from the grant person in town suggesting that perhaps we would like to look at it. Michael did a bunch of work looking for spots. I saw a little bit. Did I see all things about the grant? No, because it hasn't all been filled out. The grant committee would be working with the grant writer.
But you saw what Mike's proposed locations were.
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't you give those to me, Frank?
I didn't have them. I saw
I'm
those.
just asking, you were in politics for 30 years. Did you regularly vote on things that you hadn't seen?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so why would you ask me to do the same thing?
I thought you saw it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why you don't see it.
This is why we need bylaws. I have some additional thoughts about this grant because there's two things that we should do regardless, but if we're gonna apply for this grant, we certainly should. So I went after the meeting and took a look. All right, I wanna call everyone's attention to the title of the grant, Natural Climate Solutions Grant. The project type is Urban Canopy and Water Quality Enhancement. Why is that important? The purpose of the grant is eligible products will establish and maintain trees and reduce impervious cover and stormwater runoff while promoting groundwater recharge in urban areas. So the reason for the money is being given out for the grant as part of climate solutions is because planting trees reduces the amount and speed of stormwater runoff. The trees suck up some of the water and they also delay some of the water from going into our storm drains. So the difference between a normal storm and an excessive storm is slowed down by trees. All right, so there's an environmental impact here. So, the grant is offered by the Department of Environmental Protection. This is the same Department of Environmental Protection that has required that Morris Plains have a tree removal and replacement ordinance for private property for groundwater recharge since 2024. We do not have that and we're not in compliance with that. Do you remember the tree removal grant that we all talked about in 2024? It was never followed through on. We're not in compliance for our stormwater permit. So I find it highly unlikely that if we don't work with the council to develop that tree removal ordinance, that we will get any money from this grant.
So,
Well, I think
First
it's
of all, that's-
concluded, or I concluded, forget it. You're beating a dead horse anyway. I mean, the council was negative to it. So, just, it's over. It's over. It's no use talking about it or going back or anything else. It's over with. Boom.
our council liaison isn't here to speak on this. I know they've tried to work on different ordinances for the town regarding trees. Nothing has moved forward. So as far as that's concerned, that's on the council to figure out, not us.
I agree that it's for private property, but we were asked to consult last time, and I think that we should say to the council, hey, you know, one of the reasons that we wouldn't qualify well, to go to your point, Mary Ann, for the grant, is because we're not in compliance with the Department of Environmental Protection regulations that, for groundwater. And we're gonna ask them to give us 400 trees when we're not even in compliance with what we're supposed to have complied with almost 2 years ago.
That is your opinion.
It's not my opinion.
No, it is your opinion, because we did get a grant and we did plant 408 trees. And we are Tree City USA coming on 50 years. And we certainly have a tremendous record. And to say that we wouldn't get a grant, we won't get the grant if you don't make an effort. And nobody wants to make that effort.
What am I doing
And
right now?
until people decide that it's worth an effort, instead of bringing up all these other things, we're not gonna go anywhere.
These aren't all other things, these are application details, Frank. The other part of the application, you have to follow the 10-20-30 rule. I think you talked about that when you came back.
Yes.
Okay? It says in here for the tree planting product, that you have, the tree planting guidelines, sorry, that you have to follow the 10-20-30 rule. And then it says, ideally applicants should be evaluating their existing species composition when making planting decisions. We don't know what our species composition is because we don't have a tree inventory. It's now been more than a year that I've been trying to get us to apply for the free $20,000 from the state to write the community forest management plan and to do the tree inventory. Can we please make it a priority, chair and vice chair, to do this right away? Because the idea that it's the council that is somehow holding us back. It's us not doing the work we need to do to get accredited, to set ourselves up well. And I want to say one thing about the Tree City USA. I'm glad we're a Tree City USA. There's 4 requirements to be Tree City USA, okay? First one is that you have to have some sort of shade tree commission. Second one is that you have to have a tree ordinance. The third one is that you have to have an Arbor Day celebration. And the fourth one is that you have to spend $2 per resident. Population of Morris Plains right now, what, around 6,500? So that's $13,000 if my math's right. So we'll call it 15. So I'm not saying that it's nothing, Frank, but just because we have that, we need to go beyond that. We need to get accredited. We can't just rest on our laurels, all right? That isn't that hard of a bar to hit for a community like ours. We should be doing a better job. So I think what I take away from this is, first of all, we need bylaws so that information is shared, okay? If you don't like something that someone has to say, vote it up or down, but don't not give them the information before the vote. That's not right. And second of all, I think we should work with the council to develop this tree removal and replacement ordinance, and we should apply for the free money first, and then see if we have time to get our application in. We probably won't be able to do the whole inventory before this application is due in August, but at least we could say, hey, we're starting to do it, and maybe that would help our chances some, if people want to apply.
So we will prioritize based on what the asks are and come up with a prioritization.
As far as the tree ordinance goes, obviously our council liaison isn't here to see where that stands with the council, so I can't comment on that.
As far as I'm concerned, I would never vote for that tree ordinance. It's just a tax on people. That's all it is. It's a tax on them.
So it's required by the state for our,
Because it's required by the state doesn't mean does that mean that everything is good, that the state knows everything?
no, but
It's good?
it does mean that we have a stormwater permit that could be denied if we're not in compliance. And as I said,
We have a stormwater permit, and we have to, you have to do that every year. It's done every year.
and one of the requirements that we are not currently in fulfillment of, and as far as I saw, the 2025 stormwater permit information is not posted, which would be the first year that, because Frank, you said we applied for 400 trees before, but this ordinance wasn't required when we applied last time.
We've been doing
So that's-
stormwater for many, many, many years.
And so there's a new requirement, and we are not, if you go to the website, you'll see that the information is not posted there as it's supposed to be, and that we're not in compliance with that.
Does that necessarily mean it doesn't exist? I mean, I think before we start saying things don't exist, we should ask the questions.
So,
It could be that it just didn't get posted, I don't know.
the tree removal ordinance?
Well, the tree removal ordinance is not done, it's held over
Right,
at the
so
council.
that doesn't exist, so that's what I'm saying, we're not in
I
compliance.
thought you were talking about stormwater.
Well, this is tied to our stormwater, this is what I'm trying to say. It's all of a piece, guys, okay? They're giving you, the Department of Environmental Protection is saying you need to regulate to some extent tree removal because it affects the stormwater discharge. And then this grant that we just had this big kerfuffle about, is also saying, we'll give you more trees if you're meeting the criteria for stormwater management. There's a whole section in here that you have to meet the stormwater management guidelines.
Right, but Rob, again, the propensity of us getting this is low. It doesn't matter if we have the stormwater piece in there or not. I don't know what that means. It doesn't matter, it doesn't mean we're going to get it, right?
I didn't say it did.
I'll take it up with our council liaison regarding the stormwater management ordinance.
Yeah, let's see where we're at. And then we will, Michael and I are on the grant, I forget what we call it, grant committee. And we'll take a look at what is out there, and we will say, hey, here's a list of things, let's prioritize. There's no way we're gonna get to everything. And based on what the requirements are, there's some that we may have a higher propensity to get. Look, we can't even get the $2,500 Porter Award. We've applied for that for 2 years. I wrote the first one, Steve wrote the second one. We haven't even gotten that one yet. So those are small grants. So this is baby steps in terms of what we have to do.
So I have to disagree with you somewhat because the grant, the Green Communities Grant is a grant they want to give you because they want you to do a good job managing your urban
Again,
forests.
it's urban. We don't qualify for a lot of the urban stuff.
Marianne, we
The devil's in the
absolutely,
detail.
first of all, we already have qualified for this grant. We got this grant before. This is part of the grant that Frank's talking about. They had to write that management plan in order to get the trees that they got. So we've already done that. So we do qualify, okay? I've
I
already
don't
done a
know
lot.
that we qualify because I don't know that the requirements are exactly the same as they will.
So
be. But it's whatever.
I have
We're
spent-
talking about a grant
You're
that
talking over
doesn't
me.
even have support from the Shade Tree Commission at this point. So, let's
Let's just table this.
table it.
The Community Forest Management Plan grant, okay, is for $20,000. There's a $5,000 match. I did hours and hours of research on this. I presented it to the council 2 or 3 different times, okay? I went and I talked to people who could do this work for us. I got it down from where we'd have to spend money to figuring out how we could spend 0 money, so we didn't have to ask the council to include any more money in our budget. Although I think it might be a good idea to ask them for some because a complete tree inventory would be more helpful. We could do a partial inventory. I've done all the legwork. We approved this last July, and we haven't done anything on it, okay? So it's not a matter of we're gonna take a look, we'll figure it out, whatever. No, we voted that we were going to do this. That was what we all voted for. I've done all the research. I'm happy for you to do your own research, that's fine. But let's not slow walk this and say we don't have it, we need to take our time, whatever. It's all there. All we have to do is get together, all look at the application material at the next meeting or in the March meeting. You guys can look at it if you want. I'm happy to send you anything that I researched, okay? And then bring it in and we'll figure out this, that, and the other, and we'll send it to the council. That's all you gotta do. It's not that hard.
Again, we talked about prioritization, so we'll put this on the list, and if we all agree that this is, we still wanna pursue this, then we'll go ahead and pursue it.
That's all I have.
Moving forward to new business, there's nothing on the agenda, but does anyone have anything? Seeing as there is none, I ask for motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.